Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown. Thanks so much for being here with me for a Respite in Place plan overview. I do offer these every month on the second Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for free. So you are welcome to watch this video and then join me on the second Tuesday of any month at 1 p.m. Eastern Time to personalize your plan and talk out anything that you're wondering about or thinking through or need support about. So the Respite in Place plan originated in, I would say, the spring of 2020, actually spring of 2021. Because of the pandemic, I could see respite programs stopped. And I thought, you know what, we need respite that continues, regardless of what's going on in the world. And it's this idea then that respite in place happens where we are. So we can find a space in our home, a space in our neighborhood, a space in our community where we can go to feel like we have a moment to breathe. So let's get started. What I'm going to go through today are some ideas for you, including walking you through what our plan looks like. And you can download the plan on caringourway.com when you go into this Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving. The plan is there that I'll show you in just a few moments. But I want to kind of set the stage for what we're trying to do. So it's this idea that we have a place to call our own. And you know, during a caregiving experience, it feels like you give up everything to caregiving. You give up space in your closet, you give up time in your day, you give up energy during your life. And it feels like we don't really have anything that's ours. Our privacy is now gone to caregiving. So let's rethink what our spaces look like in our day and in our life so that we have a space that's our own. So for me, in the summer, the space that I call my own is our outdoor community pool. In the summer of 2021, I was able to swim laps at 7 a.m. on a regular basis. So I did it from the time that the pool opened for the summer through Labor Day when the pool closes. So this is what it looks like. And one of the reasons that I really enjoyed it is that I could experience all kinds of senses. So for instance, I could watch a storm roll in. So that's what this picture represents, some clouds rolling in. There also was this exposure to nature. So there's trees that I could look at. And then certainly because I was exposed to nature, I could also hear the birds chirping early in the morning. And then there was the sound of the lappers. So I didn't really get a good action photo, but you can see that within each lane, there's someone swimming, and that motion created a sound of waves. So even though we were in the middle of a suburb of Chicago, we weren't by Lake Michigan, I could still sense waves and the sound of the waves. In addition, I don't know if you can really see it in this photo, but in the trees, there's actually what would you call it? A stereo. So in the morning, they would play music for us. So we swam to music. So that was the other senses that was really activated by swimming in the morning. So it was the motion of myself in the water swimming, the sound of the other lappers they created with their waves, the music, the wind, the birds, the clouds. So it was this amazing exposure at 7 a.m. to something that made me feel like this is for me, this is mine. My intention at the start of summer 2022 was to do the very same thing. But a lot had changed over a period of a year. My brother had died unexpectedly in August of 2021. My parents were getting frailer and frailer. So we had a difficult period of time between September 2021 and then end of May 2022 when the pool reopens. I did my best. I woke up at the same time as I did the summer earlier, but it was hard for me energy-wise to get out of the house and swim laps. I did it the first week and then I was just waking up too tired because of all that I was doing for my parents. So I thought, well, I love to go to the pool. I'm just going to adjust how I use it. So instead of going in the morning, I went later in the afternoon when it was open swim, and then I just treaded water. So this is an action shot of someone jumping off one of the diving boards. I don't know if you can see that, but there's someone jumping off the diving board. And you can see the people. So there was this energy of youth that I experienced later in the day. Plus, I still had nature. I still had clouds, I still had trees, and then I still had sounds. So they played music, a little different music when the kids are in the pool than when it's just the older people like me in the morning swimming laps, which I always got a kick out of. But there was an energy in the pool and around the pool that really made me feel like, okay, I'm getting a break. So I couldn't get out of the house in the morning because I woke up so tired every day. But I could still go in the afternoon with the idea that all I was going to do was tread water. The other thing I found is it was hard for me to think of breathing during my lap swims, putting my head underwater and coming up for my breath. I was so stressed out that I couldn't necessarily regulate my breath that way. But I could if I just treaded water because I wasn't putting my head in the water. And I tell you this because it's so important for us to think of our respite in place space that adjusts as our caregiving experience intensifies. So my mom died in August of 2022, a year to the day, actually, that my brother had died. And the pool really gave me a nice break. So I was able to go, even as she was dying, I was able to take a little bit of time away when someone else was with her and just almost like reconnect to life. And that energized me to go back and continue to care for her. Okay, so let's create yours. So there's a plan that I created that I'm going to walk you through that helps you think through what's possible for your own space. So you can download the plan from our Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving on Caring Our Way, and it helps you think through what's possible. In addition, if you'd like, you can also work through your plan with a certified caregiving consultant. You can hire your own consultant just for this plan. So you could spend 30 minutes, 50 minutes with a consultant, whatever your budget allows, to think through to create something intentionally for you that reflects who you are and what you need right now. Again, knowing that what you need right now might need to be adjusted in 3 months or 6 months, and you want to give yourself permission to create a space that adjusts as what you need changes. So as you think about where you're going to go with your respite in place plan, consider your reflections. So think about what's the intention for the space. Reflect on how you want to plan and design it. In addition, this reflections wheel can help you as you think through, well, what do I want to do in my space? So maybe you want to spend some time asking yourself a question and reflecting on it. And if you like prompts that are questions, then follow our topic on Caring Our Way, which is the Sunday question. I pose a question every Sunday, which is a way for us to set the intention for the day. So you could use those questions, for instance, to create a space on Sunday morning to set your intention for the week. So you could look at the question that I pose on Sunday mornings and then take some quiet time, 10 minutes, write out the question and then write out your answers, and that helps set your intention for the rest of the week. You'll notice that there are keywords from our 6 stages concept on this wheel. Ask, find, receive, welcome, allow, treasure. I love these 6 words, which are our keywords from our 6 stages concept, which really help us think through, how do I cope? Well, I cope by asking a question, by finding what I can, by receiving support, by welcoming however the day unfolds, rather than resisting it, welcoming it, including what is challenging and what feels awful. Rather than resisting it, I'm just going to welcome it without judgment, allowing the experience for what it is, and then treasuring what happens that feels like a blessing. So you can use these words in your space if you'd like to use your space for reflection. In addition, you can use all 8 words to think through, what's the vision for your space? What can I start in the space? What can I finish? What can I ask about the space? What can I use in the space to find what I need? So that's how you start. It's really thinking through, what's the vision for the space? And that wheel can help you figure out, what's my vision? And then thinking out, well, where could the space actually be? So thinking through some rooms you might have in your house, as well as some space you might have in your neighborhood or in your community. So in my community, I'm lucky that I have an outdoor pool and an indoor pool. So I try to get to the indoor pool the 9 months out of the year that the outdoor pool is closed. One of our certified caregiving consultants actually uses her garage as a break. She has taken a piece of a spot in the garage and decorated it with a rug and a couch. And when her son is sleeping, she brings the monitor in the garage so she can still be available if he needs her. And she feels like she's getting a break because she's in a different space in the garage. You could think about using a corner of your bedroom, a corner of your basement. Your kitchen could be your respite in place space. It could be where you go to create. So chopping, measuring, mixing are all really great motions that kind of lull you, that give you a break from stress. So it could be that you decide, you know what? On Saturday afternoons, I'm going to bake. And that's my respite in place space. That's where I go to disconnect from my stress and worries. That's where I go to connect to my creativity, to my ability to really just create something that's delicious, that's fuel for my family, and it energizes me. You might have a space in your neighborhood, a park, a Starbucks that you like to walk to. And it could just be a 5-minute walk there, a few minutes that you spend there, and a 5-minute walk back home. It could be a walk around your block. You might feel like, you know what, if I can get in my car and just drive for a few minutes, I feel like I'm getting a break, and that's my respite in place space. So as you think about the options, think about how you can actually personalize the spaces. So for instance, if you really feel like, you know what, it's Saturday afternoon in the kitchen, what are the gadgets? What are the bowls? What are the mixing bowls, the measuring bowls? What do you want? What are the spices? What are the ingredients that you feel like, you know what, I'm going to create a little space in a cupboard that has everything I love to use as I bake and cook. And so not only do I have a space in the kitchen, but I have this very specific shelf or part of the pantry that's just for me. And it could be organized in a way that you feel like, oh, I just love to look how well it's organized. I love how I've used different containers. I love that I have these special mixing bowls. It's just nice to feel like we can personalize this space. You know, I also want to mention the bathroom too, because I know sometimes that we do use the bathroom because that's where we could go to get a break, because no one questions you when you say, I need to go into the bathroom, right? They don't want to know what you're doing in there. So you have a little freedom when you get in there. You could also think about, what do you want to put in your bathroom that feels like you're getting a break when you're in there? Whatever you're doing in there, you could have a special book or a candle or plants. In my bathroom, I have a shelf in my shower, and I often think I need to put some plants on there. Just a way to make it feel almost like a spa. So if you take a shower and you have, for instance, a diffuser for essential oils that you put on, so you add some aroma in your bathroom, or a candle that you light if you take a bath, or the plants that you look like, even the fake ones, they don't have to be real ones, that can actually personalize the space for you. Okay. And then some prompts for you to think about your budget. Your budget could be $5, and that's a good budget for your Respite in Space place. Your budget could be what you find at a garage sale or on Facebook Marketplace. That would be awesome. Doesn't always have to be new and the shiniest and the best. It just has to work for you. And it has to work within your budget. And if it works in your budget, that's awesome. Okay, so we thought through a little bit of the vision for the space, and then we picked the space. And now you're going to think about, well, what am I going to do in this space? And again, if it's something like your kitchen where you are cooking, your purpose in that space is to create. You might have a different space in your house where you feel like, you know what, I just want to say prayers in this space. And then maybe you have paper and pen handy to create your own prayer. Or maybe you have your Bible and you go to a favorite passage that you read. You might have a space where you think, this is just where I relax. It's my most comfortable chair. And if I need to relax, I go there and put my feet up for 5 minutes. You might have another space where you feel like, you know what, I just want to discover what's possible for me at this point in my life. I want to really think through what I can do, even within the constraints of caregiving. I don't want it to be all about caregiving. So I'm going to think through what can I discover so it's in addition to caregiving, I do this. When I first created this plan, I had some of my certified caregiving consultants go through it with me. And the word disconnect actually was connect, because I was thinking, well, maybe you could use maybe a purpose for your space could be to connect to someone or something you love. And they were all like, we don't want to connect anymore. We want to disconnect. So you could have a purpose for a space to disconnect from technology and from caregiving. What does that look like? How do you do it? When can you do it? You might have a space too where you go to work because you feel like work is my break. So I'm going to create a space that reflects my passion for work, that is organized in such a way that the work feels fulfilling, where I feel connected to that. It's my purpose in that space is to work. You could also have a space where you feel like I'm going to review how the day went. Take a little time to sit through and think, how did the day go? And we actually have some tools in our Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving that can help you with the review. There's a daily recovery plan, and there's also an assessment that you can take that we ask about how your day went. And you can take that every day. It should take you about 5 minutes. And we actually email you the results so that you can have a log of how your day was. So it's a little different way to journal. Might feel a little more organized to you, but that can be helpful to have those prompts where there's questions that you answer about your day. Sometimes sitting in front of a blank piece of paper and you think, I've got a journal, and you think, but what do I journal? And the other prompt that you might find helpful is our 3-word journaling. And that's a course on Caring Our Way, where we give you 3 words to think through as prompts to write. And you can write a paragraph with all 3 words. You can write 1 sentence with all 3 words. It's really your choice, but you use the 3 words to start writing. So what are you going to put in your space? And as I was telling you about the community pool, I was talking about how my senses are activated. So you can think about doing that in your own space. It might be, what do you have that tastes good in your space? What is it that you can touch that is comforting? So maybe you think, you know what, I have this great chair that I go to relax. And when you go into that chair to relax, you bring the pet, the cat. So you touch the cat, you pet the cat. and that motion is relaxing for both of you. Essential oils that you diffuse can be that smell that feels like it's a break. And then thinking about earth, water, fire, and air. So if you have a space in your yard, for instance, what's the water element? What's the fire element? Maybe it's a little fire pit. And then what's the air? What do you see? What do you breathe? And then what's in the earth? Could it be plants or flowers? Simple plants or flowers, or complicated, depending on what brings you peace and comfort. Sometimes it is a more elaborate garden. Maybe it's just one plant that you look at. And thinking about those elements indoors and outdoors. So again, it's adding these special touches that reflect who you are and what you want from the space. Okay, and I think that is it. So that's your plan. And at the end of the plan, it does offer the opportunity if you'd like to connect to a consultant to talk through this. And as you create these plans, please share them with us. We want to see it. And if you create a special spot space like outdoors, take a video of it. Give us a tour. If you create a special space in your basement, take a video of it. Give us a tour. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. And the more that we share our spaces, the more inspired we are to create a space. And as you create a video to share with us, tell us about your budget. We want to know that you can create something really special and magical for a little bit of money. That's the beauty too of Respite in Place. It's about getting a break right where we are without having to break the bank. That's important too, where we feel like, wow, I did this and it feels so good. And I know I didn't spend a lot of money on it. And look what I built. Look what I created for myself. Okay, so that's your Respite in Place plan. And just a reminder, if you want to talk it out with me, you can join me on the second Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can register to join me on Caring Our Way. And then you'll find all the information about the plan in the Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm so looking forward to seeing your Respite in Place spaces. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.